We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Bills. The offense did not look very good overall, whether it was, Skylar Thompson at quarterback. The receivers had a bunch of drops. The O-line did him no favors. In this video, if I sound a little too harsh on Skylar, I don't want to be. I think, 7th round rookie, I wasn't expecting too much from him, and I think he played admirably. I think he did some good things. I think he played with a lot of effort and heart, and I really respect Skylar Thompson coming in, playing hard for this team. Just the only thing is I've seen some people try to say he played just as good as Tua. So I'm just going to break down his film objectively, show what I saw from Skylar in this game, because personally I just think that's extremely disrespectful to Tua. People saying some things, that I'm biased towards Tua, but I mean, it's just what I'm seeing on the film. So overall, offense did him no favors, which obviously really hurt the team, needed them to step up next time. McDaniel as well, people put a lot of criticism on him, and he deserves some criticism for like the management and things like that, but I think overall for first season it was a success. It was the best the offense has looked, like full season long. It's probably the best the offense has looked in a very, very long time. I do think one of the biggest difference with Skylar at quarterback was the play calling. This is one of the only times they ran concepts that they usually did with Tua at quarterback or even Teddy. They've run this play a lot all year. Usually the ball actually doesn't even go to Waddle. He's usually just the clear out guy. They motion Tyreek across, get him in motion, and then he either, he has multiple things that he can run here, but based on the outside leverage, he's running a deep dig, and then Waddle is just clearing this out, but this safety bites on the run fake, so Waddle kind of just gets this big, area to work with, and Skylar makes a good read here. Getting the ball to Waddle, this is one of the few times where I feel like he hit his back foot, was comfortable and decisive. The decisiveness was probably the biggest thing with Skylar in this game. Like timing and anticipation is so important in this offense, and those are two of Tua's biggest strengths in this system. Obviously, he has his downsides, but timing, anticipation, and accuracy is a big part of his game. This ball needs to be caught by Jalen Waddle. Also, would like to see a better throw from Skylar. I mean, Waddle's got about 5 yards on the guy, and he has to slow down, and the guy catches up to him, so it makes it a more difficult catch. But Waddle is at fault for this. He has to come down with this ball. I know Waddle got a lot of hate for this one. Like, that drop was brutal. And the other plays that people were considering drops, I don't consider those drops at all. So those were just great defensive plays. The ball got knocked out. So got to give some respect to the defense when they deserve it, Once I saw this play, the first 3rd and 8, this is kind of when I was just worried about the game, because this is like one of the few times I feel like Skylar had a clear takeoff to just run and actually pick up decent yardage. Like, this is 3rd and 8. If he takes off here, he has all this room to just make one DB miss and pick up 8 yards. And he decides to throw it out here to Tyreek Hill, who has got a DB draped all over him, had no chance. He pretty much was just throwing it away. Another thing I noticed, Skylar's not very accurate, especially on the move and off platform. Like, a lot of his balls dive down. You'll see that on the interception that he threw, the first one. But right here, I just feel like he's just got to take off. I don't know if McDaniel was telling him don't take off. But that wouldn't make really much sense to me. Like, right here, you're in this position, all you got is 1 DB to miss 8 yards. Or if if he just keeps scanning, he tries to throw to someone who's not even open. Or if he wants to, throw the ball, he'd at least, give himself some time and then find this guy coming open here. But gives it a throw away. And this is where I was kind of worried about the game, because it still seemed like he was indecisive and didn't want to, just take off running, which was his biggest positive to his game that Teddy and Tua didn't have. While the defense looked like they gave up a lot of points, I would say 2 of their scores are on the offense because of the Skylar interceptions. And most of the offensive points were because of the defense. They scored a defensive touchdown. There was 1 punt return as well, where they got the ball in plus territory. And then they also, they had multiple interceptions where they started. I think the Dolphins only had 1 drive where they actually, got the kickoff and then drove the whole field to score a touchdown. Right here, it's the first Skylar interception. He works off play action. They try to get him on boot here. He does have Tyreek coming in open behind right here, and he has his, but when Skylar's been on the move, like I was saying, the ball just dives down on him. He throws this right here. It is caught. The guy barely has to jump. This ball would have not even been close to being completed. It was wildly inaccurate. Just really, I think his bad mechanics, just throwing the ball on the move. And I think one of the people talked about Skylar Thompson having insane arm strength. I think his arm strength is average at best. The ball was fluttering, dying on him all game long. Especially, I think he can get some good zip, some good velocity on it when he's in the pocket. He can get that hip torque and everything's smooth mechanically. But off platform, on the move, his arm is just average, and it just is really, really not sound mechanically at all. Third down, the next drive. This is actually a pretty good read from Skylar to like pull it back. Obviously, would like to see him get this out a little bit earlier to Gesicki, be a little more decisive. But he's trying to, they're running cover 2 here. The Bills, they motion Gesicki across, trying to pull this corner down and then get the corner in behind it, running basically a smash concept. But he sees this DB sink Trey White, and he pump fakes, gets it back out to Gesicki. So, good play not to throw this. This is probably what he was doing best in this game, is he wasn't trying to force things. Like, the first interception was just a really bad throw. He wasn't trying to just force it. Like, the guy was open. He just missed wildly. The only ball he really tried to force all game was that 3rd and 18 or whatever it was late, and then threw the interception, which you could also blame some of that on Mike McDaniel, which a lot of people blamed it solely on Mike McDaniel. We'll get to that one, and I think, it deserves a mix of blame for that one. But right there, good read. That was where he was at his best, just, not forcing the ball, not trying to beat the team himself. Here we get a 3rd and 15. They're facing cover 3. They're showing a split field safety pre-snap. And this is a good read by Skylar. Waddle burns Trey White off the ball. He's just so much faster. Waddle did a great job just beating DBs. And this ball's a pretty well-thrown ball. It's slightly underthrown. The other one was like way underthrown. The first one that Waddle dropped, that one should have been caught. But this one to be completed, since, he had like a step on the guy, he kind of needed to throw a perfect pass. But I'm not going to hate, like, this is a very difficult throw to make. Tua usually, this is more like a 200, like the other underthrows, like that Tua usually has. These are them when the receiver has to slow down a bit. And I don't mind these too much. It's better to underthrow than overthrow. Gives your receiver a chance. But the DB just hits the ball right at the catch point and knocks that out. Would have needed a perfect throw to have it completed, and then Waddle gets hurt on the play. So I wouldn't put too much blame on Skylar on that, just for a slight underthrow. It's, it is what it is. 7th round rookie. It's a pretty good throw overall. Just a better defensive play. Got to give credit there to Trey White. One of the biggest downsides of having Skylar in this game is he's 7th round rookie, and he cannot identify the blitz when he was hot. Like, knowing your pass protection here, like, look at the O-line. They are sliding to the right. So he has to understand that if they're bringing pressure off the backside, like this DB is sneaking up, they're tight here, this guy could come. He doesn't see it. He doesn't realize that he is hot, and then it's too late. Ball's out, and then almost, gets a risky throw there to get away. He does get away, doesn't get sacked at least, but he's got to understand if his offensive line is sliding to the right, he could be hot to his left, and the ball's got to get out to Ahmed to beat the hot route right away, and it almost leads to a very dangerous throw. 2nd and 10, Bills running cover 1. They're bringing multiple guys, bringing 6, and they sack Skylar. You really just can't take this sack on 2nd and 10 like this. It makes the field goal much more difficult. Ball just needs to get out. There was nothing open. We just would like to see him, don't want to see him force anything, but maybe just give it more of a throwaway, chuck this deep out of bounds. But Skylar taking the sack. Matt Milano beats the running back here on the blitz. The O-line was not great. Got to give them some blame too. I mean, they're down some guys. They were starting some guy I legit didn't hear of until like a day before the game. And Lester Cotton, I believe. Right here, Ahmed versus Matt Milano just beats him straight up. Skylar doesn't really feel it. Doesn't have, his pocket awareness is like all right, I would say. Just very indecisive, afraid to pull the trigger. I think that's the biggest difference between Tua and him. Tua was just pulling the trigger all day long, getting the ball out with good timing, anticipation. Skylar was afraid to, and then that led to a lot of negative plays. Skylar actually does a good job making up for it. They actually convert the 3rd and 19. They only bring forward. He gets this much time in the pocket and gets all this room, and then they just kind of lose Tyreek Hill on the back end. Skylar's able to spot him. He almost throws the ball here, but he's able to spot him, finds Tyreek. Tyreek's able to convert this, get the 1st down. So big time play, stepping it up there. I believe they still only get a field goal on this drive, but it was a good sign to see him actually using his legs and keeping his eyes up, finding someone down the field. This is a positive play. Good play here from Skylar. This play was weird, this sack. I don't know if someone was running the wrong play. This looked like what Shanahan ran. It looks like that they were trying to set up the George Kittle touchdown versus Seattle, where they fake the swing out here, then come back around, fake the swing here. But the tight end is blocking. No one's running this seam. And, I mean, even if they did, the linebackers were not falling for it at all. So then Skylar then snaps back around, thinks he has a throw here. So I don't know if this is either on the tight end not running the route, Skylar not understanding the play, but then they take another big-time sack on 2nd down. So just a clear miscommunication there that happened a lot today. But that's kind of expected when you have a rookie at quarterback. The Bills just brought a bunch of blitzes, a bunch of pressures, and Skylar is he's just a young quarterback. He's a rookie, you know. I mean, he is an older rookie. He's like 25 years old, but he doesn't have a bunch of NFL experience. You got to understand when they're bringing the blitz from the side that you're hot, you got to have a hot route to this side. This hot route is going to be this. Replace this. This blitz is coming from there. Replace it where the blitz is coming from, and he has it wide open. No one's covering him. This is a 3rd and 8. This is an easy conversion. He's looking right in this direction, but he still throws the corner route, which is absolutely dead, not open at all. And even though the corner slips and actually has a chance of being completed, it's still thrown out of bounds. This is probably one of the worst reads Skylar had. I don't know if he just didn't see him, I guess. But he's got to know that this route is here, that this is hot, and he's got to be able to, you know, pull this trigger. Just looked uncomfortable all day long. They actually go for it the very next play, a 4th and 8, and this is probably this is a huge play in the Dolphins game because it was very lucky. Jeff Wilson making Matt Milano miss there, and Tyreek Hill doing just enough, not getting the block in the back, just sort of sealing this guy off just to give, like, he just puts his body in the way, gives a little bit of a bump. You might have been able to call block in the back there, but this is a very risky play. Like, personally, I don't like the decision to throw this to Jeff Wilson. If he sits in the pocket, because he still has some time, just sits here. I mean, this is coming open over the middle of the field. He could even throw this to Tyreek right here. He got the look that he wanted, but he instantly dumps it off to Jeff Wilson with no pressure, and Wilson makes Milano miss in space and all pro, and ends up picking up the first down. That was a huge conversion, which kept the Dolphins' offense still in this game. Bills come out in man-to-man, cover one robber. The safety comes down, and he actually makes the correct read here, but this ball is out so late that it turns into, like, they call this a hospital ball, where you're leaving up your receiver to dry. He tries to hit this to Ahmed, and Ahmed is his first read here. The quick wheel route. This is either a wheel down the sideline. If this linebacker undercuts this route from Gesicki, you throw the deep wheel. If he goes over the top, you just throw it quickly. So once he sees him go over the top, he's reading Edmonds right here. He's reading Edmonds the whole time. Once he sees him go over the top, the ball has to be out. It's late, and then the ball hits his hands as Edmonds hits him. The only reason he didn't get a penalty is because the ball protected him from hitting helmet to helmet, even though he would have hit helmet to helmet. But yeah, you just can't be getting the ball out that late. Just puts your running back in a lot of trouble. And then just another 3rd down conversion they didn't complete. Like, their first 3 scores were all field goals, and it was all because of great field position from the punt team or the interceptions. Good placement here from Skylar on the back shoulder to Tyreek. It's actually very interesting. You don't see back shoulders complete like this. Usually, I mean, they're facing like a cover 2 look here, but this DB's turning with him, so it's almost like he's in man-to-man basically. But when a receiver has a step on a DB, you just don't see them completing the back shoulder. If he's able to stop on him and complete it, that's just how good and explosive Tyreek is. And that was on a 2nd and 15, so you get like a nice 13 yards. It was a bad spot too. Like, he at least was 1 yard short, but they did it 2 yards short, and then they ended up not converting because of that, which is unfortunate. But good read here by Skylar, just getting the ball into your playmakers, your best player's hands. Just like to see him be decisive, because when it was like he was dropping back and trying to read a defense, he was very much struggling. But just get one guy, you see him one-on-one, just take that. I don't like this play call because it forces Skylar to get on the move. Like, it's open, like Waddle's there, like if he throws it with timing. But Skylar tries to like reset. It like almost looks like he's panicking to reset and throw this. He doesn't get anything into it, and the ball just dies on him again. Very inaccurate. These balls where he had to throw the ball either on the move or get them outside the numbers, they literally just died on him the whole game. Not even giving your receiver a chance. It's just frustrating to watch. Like, I know people talk about the arm strength with Tua, but I mean, when his arm strength, at least he was accurate and throwing with anticipation, so the ball would still get there on time. And then this, it's just late. Tries to reset his feet and still is throwing the ball short, and it's already out too late. Like, at the time he tries to reset his feet right here, Waddle's already breaking. The ball needs to be out. Waddle's breaking. How many times have we seen this season where Tua is starting his throwing motion as Waddle has already broken, and this ball would have to have been perfect to be completed because it was going to have to be at the sideline, and he underthrows him by like 3 yards. This drive was one of Skylar's better drives in the game. This was after the Javon Holland interception. They get a touchdown, and he makes 2 good throws on this drive that get them, or he makes 2 good reads right here, just reading cover 2, and the corner out here, based on his alignment pre-snap, they get him aligned tight, and he's the flat corner out here into the flat, and Waddle's route is hard to the inside. It pulls him just far enough inside, and he tries to gain deep that he sees Ahmed going out on the wheel route, and he puts this with a really good placement on the back shoulder, pick up a nice 12-yard gain on 2nd and 13, make it a 3rd and 1. So good decision here by Skylar. One of the more decisive decisions. This was just the problem with the defense, or with the offense on this day. It was just getting the ball out on time. Everything was just out of rhythm, and that's not all on Skylar. There was a lot to do with the O-line, a lot to do with the receivers, and I think that's just what happens when you have a new quarterback in there. They converted the 3rd and 1 that next play with a screen out to Tyreek. Bubble, let him do the work. Now it's a 1st and 7. They get like a red zone Tampa 2 like look, so everything's condensed down. Like these are the flat corners over here, the 2 deep safeties, but everything's condensed down, and they get the look that they want. Like this linebacker sits in the middle of the field. He's looking, his eyes are over to Waddle, so he gets basically Gesicki with his leverage, because once this safety tries to get out deep, Gesicki's aligned tight here, and he's just running, you know, a quick little bang 8 route, quick glance. This is a good read by Skylar. Once he sees the safety get outside leverage, throw this ball with timing. One of his best reads, the decisiveness on this drive, the throw to Ahmed, the throw here to Gesicki. It was very good from Skylar. Like, that stuff is the stuff I like to see out of him. Some good decisions, quick decision making, nice processing, understanding what he's seeing coverage wise, getting the ball out, and a good job by Gesicki there to get the touchdown too. Skylar probably had his best like accuracy on this drive. The throws he was making, he made some 2 big time throws. They just weren't completed. Basically good to, because of good defense. They actually go back to what had been working with Tua, the behind the back play action, you know, set this up, get him a bit of a clean pocket, and then throw, you know, the deep over to Waddle. They get the look they want with single high safety who's cheating to Tyreek Hill's side, so Waddle has the leverage advantage on him. This is a good throw. Waddle goes up to attack it and he catches it, but the ball's just hit out last second by the DB. That's just a great play. This is a great throw by Skylar. Like, I'm giving him credit where his credit is due. But I mean, I see people trying to use stats to be like, well, the offense put up 30 plus points with Skylar at quarterback. Tua didn't do that. I'm like, well, all of the scoring drives were because of the defense. The defense had a defensive touchdown, and there was a punt return. There was a lot of plays that were because of the defense. They had 2 interceptions starting in a good drive, but right there, great throw there by Skylar. Bills come out in Tampa 2, but Edmonds is the Tampa 2 middle linebacker here. He's the Mike who has to gain a lot of depth. He sees this. This is a very, you know, they tell you to throw the seam bender versus the middle of the field. Like, this is a throw that you're supposed to make. And he makes it. It's a very difficult throw. Like, it's a perfect throw though. Almost lands right in the breadbasket of Gesicki. I think the ball is, like, when you see it in the broadcast view, it's just barely tipped by Edmonds. It's a great play by him, and it just throws off the concentration. Ball moves just enough, so then it doesn't get completed. This is a play right before disaster. It's a 2nd and 12, and then take a 7-yard sack. Also notice how I haven't shown any run plays, because all the run plays were just ineffective. People wanted Mike to run the ball. The run plays did not work. There was no Mostert. The offensive line was not blocking it well. The most they were gaining was like 6 yards max, and then it would be like -3. But right here, I don't know what Skylar's looking at. They bring 4. They slide to the left. Like, this gets, you know, they slide to the pressure. They get the look that they want. I mean, Milano beats the left guard. But right here, ball has to be out. He's reading number 7. Ball could be out to Waddle. Right here, it could be out into the flat. It could be out to Tyreek. People are open, but he takes a sack from Milano. One thing Skylar does have, though, is the play strength. He does a good job of almost breaking these tackles, still getting the ball out. Like, I got to give him some respect there for that. But this ball, like, that is just, I don't know what he's looking at. I don't know how the ball's not on time, and then that gets you, you know, a 7-yard loss. And this game's only, you know, like a 1-score game at this point. This is probably the play that cost the Dolphins the game, the 3rd and 19 interception from Skylar. They get the cover 2 look, and he tries to hit the hole shot from the far hash. Like, he's the far hash trying to hit the hole shot. Like, he just doesn't have this arm strength. And I know people want to blame McDaniel for this. I think the initial read is Tyreek. He probably could throw this at Tyreek. It would have been a difficult throw to make. I mean, but that was open. This safety is kind of cheating over to Tyreek before the throw, but he throws it. It's an inaccurate throw as well. Like, tries to really hit this whole shot. It's just not there. People are saying they should have just dumped it off underneath. I mean, he has underneath options. This right here is open for free. Like, the flat route out to Ahmed. You can blame McDaniel. I just am not in the conversations, you know, in the offense. I don't know if McDaniel told him, hey, you can look there, but throw it underneath, or like, don't try to force anything. I don't know what he told him, you know. So this could have been Skylar just being like, oh, I have it, I'm going to take it. And then throwing an interception. So I don't know if this is more on McDaniel or on Skylar. Got to probably give them both some blame there, but this is really the killer for the team. List play in here just to show off Alec Ingold. I mean, the Bills probably should have expected this screen to Tyreek. I mean, these were probably the most effective plays. Like, they didn't run a lot of this season. Like, the scripted plays out to Tyreek and Waddle, they, like, push the ball down the field. But when you have a 7th round rookie in here, it makes a lot more sense. But they had to this side, like, Ingold's lined up out wide. The other guy is Durham Smythe. So it's pretty obvious they're probably blocking. But look at Ingold here. Just takes out Milano, blows him up, and then also shields Edmonds. So then it just gives Tyreek a 1-on-1 space with the safety. And, you know, you get a nice little, you know, double-digit yard pickup there from Tyreek. This was Skylar kind of just being indecisive, afraid to pull the trigger, especially after that interception. He's looking over here. They're running cover 6. This is a very nice... They have 7 bail out of this, and White come down on this as like a cover 2 flat corner. He's reading this. He could probably pull the trigger to Waddle, throw it maybe back shoulder, but he doesn't. So then he comes off, feels the pressure. He sort of just escapes the pocket again. He just kept trying to throw the ball out of the pocket. He probably should have just taken this to Ahmed, like right here. This would have been a nice... It made it 3rd and 10. I mean, 3rd and 10, so it's throwing it below the sticks, but if Gesicki shields off this guy, like, they could pick up the 1st down. He probably should have taken it. I know Romo's like, oh, if he was Josh Allen, he should have just thrown this back to Tyreek. I mean, he could have thrown this to Tyreek, I guess, but, like, that's a throw. Literally, I think Josh Allen and only Mahomes would make. You're not expecting a 7th round rookie to make that throw. But, I mean, it's just the decisiveness. Afraid to pull the trigger. Ball there, pump fake, get the ball out. He's afraid to force it, especially after the interception now. And then once you're seeing plays like this, I just know it's just pretty much over for the offense. Then they get a touchdown scoring drive going the next time. They get it, Cedric Wilson working the stick route. Good job here, just reading leverage 3x1. Make this an easy read for Skylar. He sees the inside linebacker, inside leverage. Guy works out on the number 2. You get this out. Good timing here from Skylar. And good job by Cedric. Flipping these hips, that's really nice fluidity, anticipation after the catch. Just instantly transition up the field to get the 1st down. Like, impressive play from Cedric. I mean, he probably had his best plays in this game as a punt returner, the big one, and then that was a really nice play there to pick up the 1st down from him. 2nd and 18, this is probably the most impressive screen the Dolphins have had all season, the only ones that actually worked. Out to Ahmed here. They had a sack right before this. It was definitely on Skylar. Not even going to show it, but just get the ball out quickly. Get the ball into your playmaker's hands, and good job by Ahmed. Sort of using some patience here, allowing this to be set up, knowing his blockers are on the inside, allow them to get into position, get there, and he just breaks some tackles, shows some nice contact balance, and then picks up a 1st on 2nd and 18. Really impressive run there from number 26. Really nice executed, good play call from McDaniel. They motion Smythe here, so they get all this misdirection. They have this fake to Jeff Wilson, like it's going to be run counter behind this right guard pulling behind Jones, but they have Smythe reflip his hips around. Then they also have Connor Williams work out into the space, get the reverse. Then you have Sherfield just do enough to this edge to, you know, seal him off, take him out of the play. You get Waddle all this room. This was basically a touchdown play that they didn't call. It 1 yard. I'm not going to show it after this, just a basic 1 yard rushing touchdown. But that's a great play call that basically gets you the touchdown on this drive. Another 3rd and 10 situation at this point. The Dolphins are trying to come back in the game. They're down to score. Play before this, Skylar just sort of escaped the pocket with no pressure on him. Just was scared to stick into the pocket here. He throws the ball to Waddle. This isn't a bad read. Like, Waddle's open. It's just a short of the sticks, and it pulls him away. So it only gets a 5-yard completion. I think one thing I would have liked to see, like, obviously the Waddle read is where he's supposed to go first, but the number 3 doesn't even get covered, Sherfield. If he's just able to see this, if he's reading, you know, the defenders, sees that they're having help over the top, it's basically just Sherfield running over the middle of the field. All you have to worry is about Milano. It would have been an easy pitch and catch for a completion. That's an unfortunate miss right there, but sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Dolphins' final offensive drive, they get a great look pre-snap. They get man-to-man. They get Milano lined up on Waddle, and they try to help over the top, but Waddle's just going to smoke him. This is a, you know, the 2 plays before this were not too great, whether that was Skylar or the O-line. It was just pretty much everyone not looking great. But 3rd and 10, they get a great look. Milano on Waddle. Cover 1. But then they're trying to bracket Waddle over the top. Get him on the corner route. The spacing is not great here either. Like, Tyreek and Waddle are running very close to each other. They both break deep. I think Hill is supposed to be a little shallower. Or maybe Waddle just breaks his off because he knows there's safety over the top. But good read by Skylar. Good throw. This is definitely a completion. I know people trying to say the ball came out on the ground, but that's only if you instantly go to the ground. He took 3 steps. That's a football move, so it's him down by contact out of bounds. So good play there. Almost kept them in the game, but some clock mismanagement here that kind of ruins it. Plus the refs kind of screwed them as well, from what McDaniel said. 2nd and 15 situation. They tried going man-to-man again on Waddle, but this time Waddle just started cooking people this drive, like this setup. That's really nice work there from Waddle. Good read by Skylar. Not the best throw, but inside leverage. He gives him the stutter off the line. He sets this up beautifully. Like he's going to, usually when they do this, that little stutter, and give a little outside leverage, they're going to break to the inside. I think the DB is expecting that, but then he reworks vertically and then breaks to the inside. So he forces the DB to open his hips, creates all that separation. Ball's thrown quite behind him, but Waddle pulls it in, and he's able to get up, almost pick up the first down. He's like a yard short. I don't think the ball was spotted super well either. It was like a super long one, but good read here from Skylar. Seeing that he's open, he was under pressure too. He knew that he was hot. It's one of the best, like usually when Skylar was under pressure, the play was chalked. Like he wasn't able to sit there and actually throw the ball, but he did it there. So good job by Skylar stepping up in a big time moment. Last play that I'm going to break down, obviously this is the 4th down. Right after the delay of game, that was a huge missed opportunity. They should have just, obviously I would like to see him run a QB sneak. I don't know if Skylar's good at it or not, but that's probably the most effective play. But I think it just comes down, apparently the refs told McDaniel that it was a 1st down, so they were running the personnel out there for a 1st down play, and then they told him late into the play clock that it was actually a 4th down, so they got screwed trying to change personnel, and everything was just late, and that's not really, like, obviously that sucks for McDaniel. But he's first-year head coach. He'll get the hang of it. Obviously, he'll take some blame for this loss for sure. Skylar was struggling to get the play calls in all day. Like, that's a mix of being on... He's a rookie, though. You can't expect too much. Here, the final play, though. Pretty much Robert Hunt is kind of, like, just gets destroyed instantly. And it just puts Skylar in a position where he probably... Obviously, you want to... Like, I saw people saying he should throw this to Tyreek. Tony Romo said it would have been a touchdown. Wouldn't have been a touchdown. Some other person on Twitter were saying it would have been picked off by the safety, but I don't think they saw his actual depth. He's too far to pick this off. If Skylar rips this, which he maybe could, it's a very difficult throw. The guy's now in his face. He would have taken a big hit. Would like to see him rip it because you could throw it between these two guys. That's where it was becoming open, but it would have been an anticipation throw. It's a throw you probably see Tua attempt to make. He's made it kind of all season long, but I wouldn't really blame this on Skylar. It's more on the O-line. You can see it better from this angle. Like right here, if he's throwing this with anticipation, this fits in right about there. The safety's too deep on the other side to actually make a play. Skylar escapes the pocket. This guy falls down, so I think Skylar should have just held on to the ball a little bit longer because this is he just throws it instantly, and this is a very difficult throw to make just based on the angle of Gesicki and the DB. Like, this ball probably has to be thrown like high to give Gesicki a chance. It's a pretty good throw, but like the guy hooks him, Gesicki's falling down. But overall, tough game offensively. This was, I think the biggest story of the season is the offense and the defense just could not both play well on the same week. Like, it was always one week the offense played well, or like the first half of the season the defense was pretty bad and the offense was pretty good. Then there was a stretch of games where the offense struggled and the defense started playing pretty well to keep them in the game, but they just could never play well at the same time, which was unfortunate. This game was all the defense. The defense was probably the best it's been all year, just getting points, getting turnovers, allowing the offense to score. This is just unfortunate. They kind of get the look that they want to, get the man-to-man. They're running, cover one, but with the linebacker here ratting, cover one rat look, and they kind of got what they wanted, just over the middle of the field, get this ball out behind Edmonds, and this is completed. But Robert Hunt kind of, he's our right tackle, new position, so it's unfortunate. So if you guys enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.